It looks it's a combination of police work and a comic book movie type of setting. As soon as I saw that there was a barrier between Payne and the DEA agent, I was like, oh, the DEA agent's dead. What the fuck? Some of these scenes are awesome. Right out of a Quentin Tarantino movie, Pulp Fiction. Hey everybody, this is Chris and I'm a real police officer, and today we're going to see how Max Payne depicts crime and law enforcement. Be sure to like and subscribe for more episodes of Experts React. I had just done an inventory of all my video games, and Max Payne is sitting there, still has its wrapper on it. So I never played it. It's there, but no, I haven't played it. We'll see what this is all about. Yeah, I think at this point you probably would want to be judge, jury, and executioner. Nice little dive action there. It looks it's a combination of police work and a comic book movie type of setting. It has that dark, gritty, stereotypical detective work where I'm working alone and the system's against me. So it has that cliched look. It goes kind of like to that LA Noire type of game, but now it's the modern version of that. New York is under a crime boss and everyone's against me type of thing. As a police officer, when I'm going to arrest somebody, it's based upon a certain amount of facts. And those facts are going to be disputed in a courthouse with a jury. And a attorney is going to be there for the defendant, and then the district attorney is going to be there for the people. We're going to talk about the case, and then a jury hopefully is going to be able to sift through all that and decide someone's guilt. That's the system that works. The minute we take that away from us, I could be wrong. I'm looking at the facts through my lens. And if I'm wrong, I subsequently could become the person that I'm hunting down myself. So those are those things that we definitely don't want to do. We pop culture like the Punisher. Let's ex-military, family's killed, he goes on a vengeance, and he's only killing bad people. In our minds, we can justify that on the entertainment value, but in reality, I just wonder how people would really feel about that if there is some vigilante who is doing that. I'm sure there's going to be a certain part of our society that's going to accept it, like, yes, about time. This is what the police should be doing. But then there's going to be the other part that's going to be like, well, we shouldn't be taking justice out of the hands of the people. Could this really exist? Because those anti-heroes really exist. The ex-cop, philanthropist, millionaire that's going only after bad people. And kind of in a reality, those people somewhat exist, but I don't think to the extent, the glamour that these video games and movies depict them in, to that level, I should say. I think if you are taking justice into your own hand, it kind of would correspond with being a police officer. And I say this is that we find that people have always been doing things for people. So taking justice in your own hand, that's not necessarily a bad thing. But if you look at the persona of that person, I'm going to venture to say they've always been there for the underdog. They've been the one who beat up the school bully or ensured that the bad guy always didn't win. What's ironic about this scene, as soon as I saw that there was a barrier between Payne and the DEA agent, I was like, oh, the DEA agent's dead. He's so done. Someone's going to come up behind him and kill him, and Max Payne's not going to be able to do anything about it. It goes back to that typical scene of the good guy seeing the bad guy, and it's just like, oh, I can get you if these bars weren't here between you and I. A lot of people, I think there's unless you're a gun enthusiast, a lot of people don't realize the differences between using a handgun and using a rifle. And in these particular situations, a handgun's really, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's going to be people watching this video saying, oh man, I am proficient with a handgun. I could shoot a squirrel at 1,000 feet. That's a small percentage of people. Mostly the handgun is designed for close quarter combat. That's what it's designed for. As a matter of fact, most people probably don't realize this, but most police shootings happen at 6 feet away. That's the distance between the suspect and the officer. If I'm going to have a shot that's greater than 10, 15 feet, though I feel pretty confident in my handgun skills because I am on the SWAT team and we do shoot every month and qualify with our weapons every month, I would feel much more comfortable with a rifle because I know exactly where that round's going to go. And it's just a weapon that is accurate and you see it on TV everywhere, officers are now armed with rifles. 21 feet is our magical distance where an officer is safe from the suspect's actions. If less than 21 feet, the suspect can close that ground before an officer could even pull their gun out of the holster and fire 2 rounds. It has been studied over and over again. 21 feet is the magical number. After an officer discharges their firearm, regardless of what it is, an investigation will start. So in Max Payne, we see that he is accused of shooting his partner.
NYPD is currently in pursuit of Max Payne, a repeated felon believed to be armed.
The way we could figure that out is in any police shooting, we're going to not only conduct an internal investigation, but we're also going to conduct an external investigation, and that will be done by the district attorney's office, by the sheriff's department. So this way we have 3 different looks to this police shooting to gather all the facts and see actually what really happened. During the course of the investigation, we'll be giving information to the administration of the police department. Of course, by then the press is going to be there, and we're going to be giving them some preliminary information. Now, we're not going to give them the meat and potatoes of the shooting, but we're going to give them enough so that they can go ahead and go with their story, and then they can start checking their resources. But the press does have a right to be there. They have a right to know what's going on. They're the eyes and ears of the public. So we have to embrace them, and we have to bring them along during the course of the investigation. That's what they expect from us. They want transparency from the police departments, and that's what we should be offering them. I have 2 comments regarding that scene. Number 1, if you're a good guy and everyone thinks you're a bad guy, and everyone's pursuing you, that's obviously just going to suck. It sucks for the character to know that you have done nothing wrong. There have been many instances where we have chased who was once a good guy, a good girl. These manhunts, should say, they're quick and simple, where the person doesn't really realize that they have been discovered and they're arrested. Sometimes they do realize it and they go on the run. There have been plenty of stories throughout the United States where officers or ex-officers have gone on the run, and subsequently they've gone years, sometimes decades, and they were finally apprehended. So there are plenty of those stories. What is scary about these incidents is they are a fellow police officer. If we look at the Dorner case that happened just a few years ago, this guy knows our tactics. He knows what we're going to do. He knows where we're going to look. He knows who we're going to talk to. He knows everything that we are going to do. That's what makes these cases very scary. It put us on the edge for over a week because he knew what we would be doing, and that's always going to be scary. Some of these scenes are awesome because I just started chuckling to myself when the person comes out of the bathroom and he shoots him point blank in the chest. It's like right out of a Quentin Tarantino movie, Pulp Fiction.
Freeze! NYPD, drop!
You know, every time I hear freeze, I'm like, is that like a 1970s TJ Hooker thing? I always think, do I ever say freeze? I may have. It's kind of funny when I think about this comment, freeze, put your hands up. I had a friend that once said, people in public safety see 3 times the suffering that the average human being sees. So you got to remember what's important. You got to do fun things. You got to enjoy life. And I always make sure that at least one thing a day I do for myself. Be it if I sit at my computer and play my video game for an hour, read a comic book, read a book, whatever that may be, I make sure I at least do one thing a day for me, so at least I know I did something for me. I got the...
Yeah, so I need like a 3-second pose, a variety of sorts. So I'm going to turn off my camera, and yeah, let's do that.
Anton's probably like, what an idiot.